Welcome to the Late Night Gamer, and we are now ready for the first turn in Bastogne Screaming Eagles Under Siege. So here we see the turn order, and remember that this scenario states that we will not start with the US turn first, but rather we will switch and start with the Germans. So that means that the Germans will go first, and then the US player, and also that the US player will go last in the last turn, meaning that the German player really needs to secure the road so that the US player is not able to take it back during his last turn. So that's going to be interesting to see. Let's start with reinforcements and bring on the Germans. One thing I probably should say is that this game has no supply. There is no consideration for if a unit is in or out of supply, not even in the full scenario. And this is not something that is normally in a standard combat series game, where supplies most certainly is in effect, but rather the designer has made the choice to not consider supplies for Bastogne. Since we are starting in turn 2, we are just looking at the scenario description and saying that in turn 2, Kampfgruppe von Böhm will come on with these units. And I have put them here in a nice stack ready. So the German reinforcement points are in hexes 4128, which is on this road here. It's on 4131, which is on this road, the Victory Road, and 4135 right up here. Oh, you can't even see it on the camcorder. That's fine. So this is Kampfgruppe von Böhm. They have a headquarter with some armored cars. They have armored company, which is panzers, tanks basically. They have some infantry, and the symbol in the middle here means that they are bicycle infantry. They also have mechanized infantry, or armored infantry actually, and a mortar company. I need to say a little bit about the strength of these units. You can see there's a small number inside a yellow circle on top. That is what is called the steps of this unit. All the units have, you can see here, has 2 steps except the mortar company. And the steps are, well, you can think of them as hit points really, because when a wound is inflicted or hit is inflicted, say a 1 step, you will flip this 2 step to his backside, and there they have the 1 step. So they're still in the game, and if they're reduced again, they are of course out of the game. This guy, the mortar, do not have anything on the backside, so 1 hit and it's gone. The stacking limit in this game is that you can have a maximum number of 2 steps in a hex. So you can have 2 one step units or a 1 2-step unit in a hex, except when you place them during the reinforcement phase as we are doing now. Then you can place as many as you like, but you need to move them away in the movement phase. So we are going to do that. I want to, well, since I need to clear the road, I think I'm going to have some units here on the road and just assaulting down here and throw the allies out of the positions. Since I need to consider combat when I place the rules, I will briefly just say a couple of words about what we need to think about. You can see that the numbers here are representing attack strength, defense strength, and movement values. So these engineers down here, they don't have any attack strength. They have a 1 defense and 6 movement, so they are not particularly good units to have, but nevertheless they are there occupying the city of Foy. There's also another difference here, and that is you can see that this number in the tank destroyers are printed on yellow background. And that means that this unit here is capable of doing overrun attacks. And that's important because units that are capable of doing overrun attacks can actually, if they are managed properly, attack 3 times in one turn. Attack in the movement phase, they will drive up the units and assault it, and then they can attack again in the normal attack phase. And then there's something called exploitation phase, where all the exploit capable units, the one with the yellow back or yellow stripe, they can move up to the full movement allowance and attack again. So we will see this in action. But right now I want to take out this unit here. This one is out in the open, so it's a sitting duck. It doesn't get any modifier from defense in any terrain. It's only woods and villages that give defensive bonuses. Let's have a quick look at the terrain effects chart, and you can see that the terrains are listed down here, and the movement costs for entering a hex with this type of terrain, as well as combat effect and barrage effects. They are listed in this table. So this is the entire list, and you can see it's not very long. For movement cost, everything is 1 except woods, which is 2, and road, which is half. The stream will add a +2, and a run will add a +1 on the terrain that's in there already, while these lines here are dependent on the other terrain. So if the victory route is on a trail, it will cost half a point. If the victory route is in the woods, then it will cost 2 points. It's not too hard to remember. For the combat effect, well, there are no combat effects on most of the terrains, but villages give the defender double bonus, the same as woods. Defender will get double bonus, or double their value. If you attack in a stream, then the attacker will half its attack value. The last thing on this chart is barrage effects, and there are no modifiers for barrage effects except in the village, where there will be a +1 to the die that is being rolled. A village protects you, but if you're in the woods, you will get hurt by the falling tree trunks. So then you will actually subtract 1 from the die roll. So this hex has multiple terrains in it. It's both an open hex and also have woods. The way this is handled in the game is that for movement allowances, we need to consider the one with the highest movement value, which is the woods, of course. And for defensive purposes, we will consider whatever is most beneficial for the defender. Moving along a road, as long as you can go uninterrupted by enemies, is just half a movement point. I will just put the bulk of comp group from Burn here, and I will also put 2 units down here on the small trail. Okay, the idea is that they can move up this trail here. So that's the reinforcement phase. Now there's something called road march. Road march is a special kind of movement in this game, and it's unlike any concepts I have seen in a wargame before, so I'm going to explain to you here, and I'm using sort of the examples from the playbook, or from the rulebook more or less. What happens is that if they want to move in the road movement phase, they will declare that, and they will get 3 points. 3 movement points. And any unit in this game can do road march as long as it's not disorganized and it's actually on a road. And also it has to be out of the enemy zone of control. So you will receive 3 movement points, and you can move as long as you like, as many hexes as you like, if you stay on the same type of road. So in this case I start on a trail. Can you see the difference between trail and road? So for the first movement point, I can move along this trail, or I can go in this direction all the way up here until I hit a road. So I moved on the trail up here for the first point. Then if I want to continue on the trail, I don't have to stop here, so I can move all the way here for 1 point. But let's say I want to change to road, so that will be 1 point, and then I will change to road, 2 points, and I can move in this direction, and I can change to trail again, and 3 will get me to Flamisol. Or I could do 1, I can go here westwards, and when I hit a unit of my own I need to stop, but I can stop in the hex after that unit. So that is 2 points to get here, 1 for changing into the road, and then 2 for the friendly unit, and for 3 points I could move here where I need to stop because I will be entering an enemy zone of control. So this will be the end point of my movement for 3 points. So as long as you stay on the same type of road, you can move as long as you like. You pay movement points when you switch to another type and or crashes into one of your own units. After road march we are going into normal movement, and I need to be careful now to not end in an illegal stack, because then my units will be disorganized. So during movement I will actually take my strongest unit, which is this Panzer unit, 1 point. Entering an enemy zone of control costs 2 movement points, so that is 4 movement points to get here, and I will perform an overrun attack on the what is it? It's armored infantry B company here on the road. So now I'm using an exploit capable unit, it's yellow. So now we are looking at the combat factors. My attack value is 8 and the defense value of this unit is 5. There is no defensive modifier for this terrain. Remember, only woods and villages. And if I cross a river, then I need to half my attack strength, but I'm not doing not doing any of those. It also costs 2 movement points to do an overrun attack, but I have plenty. I have 12, so there's no problems with that. So I determine the fractions. How much bigger is my 8 than the 5? What is the fraction of those? So you divide by 5 because that's the smallest number, and that will give me 1 point something. It's more than 1.5, so I will round it up. So that will give me a 2-1 ratio for my 8-5 attack, and then I roll 2 dice. For those of you who have seen my previous games, you would know that my dice rolling sometimes is a bit weird, consistently weird, but these dice, they came with the game, so they can't be cursed. I mean, I'm just going to add them together. There's no defend or attack die here. Oh, that's a very good roll because we got 11, and the more the merrier. And we had a 2-1 attack ratio and rolled 11. That is defender 1 retreats 2. Defender loses 1 step and have to retreat 2 steps, 2 hexes, I'm sorry. So you can see that the higher you roll, the better it is, and the higher the fraction here, of course, the better it is for the attacker. B company loses a step, I flip it, and I have to retreat it 2 steps backwards. I can, instead of retreating, I can choose to voluntarily reduce my unit 1 step per hex. I need to retreat, but that will kill me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to retreat 1, no, I'll go here. And this unit will take the place of the retreated unit, and because it's exploit capable, it can now follow the number of hexes that this guy had to retreat. So standing here, that will be the first hex would be here, and the second hex it can follow to be either here or here. I can choose that, so I will choose to follow here. And the reason I do that is that so I can be adjacent to this unit down in the village of Noville, so that I can spot it during artillery or barrage phase. That's a good start for the Germans. So my plan is now really just to hit brutally along here. So more movement. I will just get my units up. So I'm taking this unit here. This is the headquarters, armored cars. 1 movement point, 1.5. Then I'm going to move out here in the clear hex that cost 1, but there's a stream here as well. Or is stream? Is it? No, it's called a run. So that needs, I need to add 1 movement point for that run. How much was that? 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. And it's 4.5, 5.5 for moving into enemy zone control. And then I'm going to spend 2, 6.5, 7.5 to make an overrun attack on the same unit that had to retreat last time. Yeah, that could be nasty. My attack value is 6. This is a 3. That's a 2-1 as well. With a good roll now, I can eliminate that unit. So we roll on the 2-1 column. That is 8. It's defender loses 1 step, retreats 1. So because this only have 1 step left, it is eliminated. I will take that position. So I'm taking the hex. The rule in this game is that if a unit is eliminated, I can always take that position with the attacking unit. And also, if the enemy unit is eliminated but gets a retreat result, say I got a retreat 2, then I still can advance those retreat values with my attacking unit if it's exploit capable, if it's yellow. But the first hex needs to be the hex that the unit originally was in. So if I got a retreat 2 result, eliminate or reduce 1 retreat 2, this will be reduced, and he will advance 1 and could go 1 more. Well, as it goes, it only got a retreat 1, so I have to stop there. Yep, starting to clear the road. Because I know next turn these paratroopers will come on and they will probably advance to Foy and try to take and reinforce the city and also the city of Rekong here. That may pose a problem because they have low attack value but quite a high defensive value, these paratroopers. Now he can't do it, but he will get to this spot here, so he will do that. He will move to this spot here. Then he can engage the tank destroyer here in the combat phase at least. Now this bicycle infantry has a movement of 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will spend all its movement points moving into this hex. Yeah, I'm moving this mortar up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm moving it 1 more here, I think, because then it can add mortars to this battle, and if there's going to be a battle here and also here. So you can see that the range of this mortar is 3. And its barrage strength is also 3. So the strength or the range is the red number 1, 2, 3. So you can reach actually all the way down here to Foy if needed. So that ends the German movement. Then we are removing markers or disorganized markers from the last round, but there aren't any, so we continue. Then it's US barrage. So the US artillery get to fire. And the requirements for firing is that it has to be in range, the artillery has to have ammunition, and it has to have a spotter. There must be a unit adjacent to the target, a friendly unit adjacent to the target, of course. We know that these artillery have unlimited ammunition and also unlimited range for the purpose of the scenario. And these are the only US artillery available. Yeah. So they're all the same. They have a range, well, they have a barrage number of 4. Meaning they will hit on a die roll of 1 to 4, which is a pretty good, that's pretty good odds. In addition, they are yellow. You can see that they are colored yellow. So when they are colored yellow or are a plane, they get to roll a kill roll after determining if they hit. So a hit will result in a disorganized marker and a kill roll. They will kill on 4 to 6. On a die, and there will be no effect on 1 to 3. If they are white artillery like these ones, then they will only kill on 6. So both the US and the German artillery are yellow artillery that are off map. The Germans also have a mortar, which we just saw down here, which is a grey one. But US first. And the US are a bit afraid of this tank unit here, so they're going to try to target this. And now the rules are not completely clear, but the forum seems to indicate that you need to announce all the barrages first before you determine if they hit or not. No, so I will at least have one barrage here for sure, and I'm going to use, I'm using a disorganized marker and flipping it so that I remember which hex I targeted. And since all the artillery have the same values, it doesn't matter which one target which hex, but I'm going to have one target this hex. There's a spotter here. I'm going to, I'm going to have another one target this unit, this panzer unit up here. They're all on the roads already, nobody are in the woods. And because I think this is an important hex, I'm going to have 2 artillery or 2 barrages on this hex here. First I'm going to roll for the one up in the north here, just north of Noville, and then we're going to take the one that is close to Foy. And the magic number is 4 or less. That's a 6, so that's a miss. They missed up in the north. Now we have 2 rolls against the unit in Foy. First one, that's a miss, oh man. And the second one, that's a hit. So there's one hit. Now we need to determine if this one also will inflict a step loss or a reduction of the target unit. We roll again for the kill. 4 to 6, we're good. That's a 5, so it is a step loss. So this one had no effect. The first one here did not have any effect. The second one inflicted a step loss on this unit here. So we flip it. And now we can see it has only one step. And we need to place a disorganized marker on it because it was hit. So that's not good for the German player at all. But it's not over yet, we still have combat, so I'm hoping I can clear out these hexes here during combat, because then I can move along the road with the units that come on next round. Okay, German artillery can now fire, and I'm doing it the same way. I'm going to mark, but now with US barrage markers, flipping them. So what do I want to target? There's a guy here in the woods, yes. So I'm going to have one barrage on this guy. Then I want to try to hit the guy inside Noville. Yeah, and I'm targeting also this tank destroyer here. I also have this mortar unit, which can also fire. Oh, yeah, I can't fire on this guy here because there is no adjacent units. I have no spotter. Okay, I do it like this. I have, okay, for the heavy barrages, the one off map, I will have one here, and one here, and the mortar is firing here. So let's resolve it in from north to south. So there is one up north, 2 in the city here, and 1 down here. I'm sorry, something went wrong with my recording when I did the dice rolling, so I will just show you what happened. There were no effect down here in Foy and no effect in Noville, but up here we managed to score a hit and also reduce this unit by 1 step. But it only has 1 step, so it is eliminated. The German phase continues, and now it is combat. And in combat phase I can attack units that are adjacent. So let's have a closer look here in Noville. They have a company defending Noville. They're in the city, so that is going to multiply their defensive value by 2. So these guys actually defend with a 6. I have multiple units surrounding them, so I will attack from every one of the surrounding hexes. There's no limit to how many units that can attack. My attack strength is 16. So that is, if I make the math here and divide by 6, I will get 1 to 2.6. And 2.6 is rounded up to 3, so this is actually a 3-to-1 in favor of the attacker. If I didn't commit this unit, I will only have 14 points, and then it will be 2.3 instead of 2.6, and 2.3 is rounded down to 2. So adding the bicycle infantry gives me a 3-to-1 instead of a 2-to-1, so that's good. I will do that. Attack in Noville, the Battle of Noville, and I roll 2 dice. That's 7. On the 3-to-1 column, a 7 is a defender loses 1 step and have to retreat 2 hexes. So they is reduced 1 step, and they will have to retreat 2 hexes. They can actually retreat here, and they need to avoid enemy zone of control because they will be reduced if they have to retreat into an enemy zone of control. Meaning if they retreat here, they will be reduced, and here they will be reduced, and of course there will be nothing left then. So the only valid path is actually through this squad or this platoon here. But it's fine, both have just 1 steps, but they have to retreat again because 2 steps. So they will end up in the woods here. So I will choose not to enter Noville. Now this may seem strange, but the next phase that is coming up is exploitation phase, where my unit that are printed on this yellow banner can move their full movement value and also do an overrun attack. But there's a limitation to that, and that is that they can't start in an enemy zone of control. So if I move here, this unit is not able to do this overrun attack. Down south the situation is more difficult because I am disorganized, or the Germans are disorganized, meaning, and they're also reduced, so they only have a attack value of 2 because of disorganization, and there's a defense value of 3. Yeah, so that is actually 1-2 in favor of the defender, and I need to roll a 10 or higher than to inflict anything. So I'm not going to attack there. That's going to be a waste of personnel. I'm going to lose that battle. I'm probably going to be eliminated. So that's combat. Now it's exploitation phase. Okay, this unit has a defensive value of 3, but it's in a wood hex, so that is going to give them 6. If I want to exploit as a stack, I need to start in a stack. So 6 versus 6, that's a 1-1. This is an 8, but that is 8 versus 6 is also just a 1-1. So I'm going to use this guy to move into Noville and initiate an overrun attack here on a 1-1 on the 1-1 column. Oh, that's a 10. That's excellent. So we agreed it was a 1-1 column, and a 10 is actually defender loses 1 step and retreats 2. Of course, loses 1 step when you have just 1 means that you're out. Now we can follow with this exploit capable unit, and it can follow 2 hexes. This one have to be the first. We can follow even though the unit is eliminated. And we do ignore any enemy zone of control for this movement. It's not dependent on terrain either, it's a number of hexes. I'm going to move this unit here, and then I'm going to go into Cobru. I don't know how to pronounce that. Because now there's a trade going down here to Recogn, which I can follow later. I'm going to take this headquarter unit, my armored cars, and I'm going to move 1 movement point, 3 for the +2 for the enemy zone of control, and going to use 2 more to attack this guy with an overrun attack. So they're in the woods, yeah. So they have a defensive factor of 4. My attack value is 6. So that's a 2-1 in favor of the defender. We roll on the 2-1 column, and we get only a 6. 2-1 column, a 6 is actually a fender loses 1 step and the defender loses 1 step. I think that's okay. The defender is out because you only have 1 step left. The headquarter is reduced like this. when the unit here is eliminated, I can always choose to take that position, and I'm doing that. So the bicycle guys are going on their bikes into Noville. That's one movement point, because it costs 1 to move into a city, and we negate or we ignore the run in city hexes. So that's 1, we follow the trail, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, moving into the Cong, taking that. So now the Germans are doing really well, I think, and they are now ending their exploitation phase, and also they are ending their turn. And with that we're also ending this episode. See you next time.